Hello and welcome to Floor Finds. Today I'm here with Tom Englund from Evergrey and also now from Silent Skies. And what you might not know about Tom is that he has also a degree in aiding people in psychological need. What that really means, please Tom, enlighten us.
Yeah, I was in a period of my musician life where I came to a point where I didn't feel great about being in a band or playing music at all, to be honest. And my guitar player Henrik at that time told me that you need to find something that is more important than music, which is extremely hard.
Yeah.
As you
can
imagine.
Really?
What could that be?
What could that be?
Because it was wearing me out and had been doing so for many years actually. So I was psychologically at the bottom, and I didn't have strength enough to take on an email even.
Okay.
So it came to a point where I needed to do something different. So I applied for a course at the university, or not a course, a full degree at the university for 3.5 years, where I studied social work and psychology and therapeutic methods for aiding people in psychological need. And I did that while being on tour as well, so it was a very stupid thing to do. But at the same time, it taught me a lot of things about myself and about how the things you love the most also hurts you the most, and that you have to take care of yourself. And today I feel much better about myself and about my relation to music, and so maybe we can dive into that a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's great that you dare, first and foremost, to openly speak about psychological challenges. I think it's more and more accepted that people don't feel well. And despite the fake world that we all like to paint sometimes, that everything is perfect. Of course it's not. And people have moments in their lives where things are not great. Or people with even more severe problems, and it's fantastic that they're allowed to be there. I think it's super important to accept it. From there it's easier to approach and hopefully to come out of it like you obviously did by taking the whole by the horns and saying, okay, I need to do something and I need to fix it. So do you feel that that you felt better because you could help other people, or because you learned more about understanding psychology better and therefore also your own? I
mean, I would say all of that, but for me, it's a process, and it's a transition period from where I went from not knowing who I was, because this illness I was taken with was basically changing everything for me. My perception of me, my perception of what my life was supposed to be, and my perception of music, and everything that I was at the time. So it was a very disturbing period for me to also sort of leave the music world, or at least take a step to leave it, because that was my end game, was that I'm not gonna do music anymore.
Okay.
Because it was hurting me, So so it was a transition period for sure. So I started studying. I first had to study for a year even to get into the university.
Wow.
So I studied for 4.5 years, and then I did after that I did like a specialist course for people where I spoke to people in a therapeutic way, people with cancer. So it was a long time of studying. I would say in total 6 years, I think. And during that time, of course, I learned a hell of a lot about myself, but also about the human psyche and where I should position myself in the world. And just as you said before, that the world today portray itself like everything is great, and you and me are highly responsible for how we portray ourselves towards you guys.
True.
So I think it's also important to show both sides, or talk about it like we do now, because nobody's super eager to show their face on Instagram on a very bad day.
No.
And at the same time, we also have to take responsibility to not necessarily tell everyone that you're feeling the worst every day. You know?
No, absolutely. It's funny because if you think of our music, we make very melancholic music.
Yeah.
There, it can be misery. It can be so dark, and then it's okay. But when you put out a selfie, it has to be
yeah, someone like, or at least look cool, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But of course, to create music, even melancholic dark music, you have to have enough energy to transform everything that's in you into the music and really be able to give a voice to those emotions in a way, and
For sure.
and transpose it so that what you feel or what I feel would we feel, that we can put it in there for something that you guys can feel, and everybody's going to take it up differently, because everybody's different and comes with their own bit of luggage of life and
For sure.
listens with different ears.
And I mean, especially like you and me, I mean, of course there are bands that write about Dungeons and Dragons and swords and stuff. I don't have that tight connection with those things. So I write about myself, and so do you. And when doing that, you also sort of, as an artist, made a decision that this is what I want to convey to people. You know? So for us, I would say that it's double draining to always talk about somebody or something that is close to you.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when even on stage, you can go through the emotional roller coaster of everything that you've put in. But it's almost, for me, it's an essential part of making music. I want to be able to do that. Else, I could be singing about toilet paper for all that matters.
Yes.
Because it would be empty.
Yeah.
It has to be filled with something. And the more genuine, the better. Because then I think you can honestly transmit emotions. But that comes with a certain bit of suffering. You have to have the energy for it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what happened to me. Well, at that time, I think this was back in 2010, and I was at that time feeling that what I put into the band or the music or the songwriting was not necessarily feeling honest, because I was feeling like shit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't write about that, or I couldn't put that to words, basically.
Mm.
So then I started to feel dishonest towards myself, and doing this kind of music and being dishonest doesn't work for me. When you write pop music, you can write about certain feelings and try to paint it with brighter colors and whatever. But when you're writing music, like at least for Evergrey, I always write about myself, and I stopped feeling honest, and then I had to change.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting that it can really drain you dry like that, and great that you found a way to, well, stop the circle and climb out of a negative spiral there. And because music is emotion, and it's interesting. I don't know how that works for you or for you guys, but I feel better when I listen to melancholic music. I don't get spiritually lifted from a happy song. It doesn't do anything for me unless the lyrics are really, really good. But something in dark music, in the melancholy makes me, I don't know, calm in a way. It's
maybe because it feels honest.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think that you need all of it. You need all of the colors in the rainbow, if you will, you know. But most and close to heart for me is that life isn't always easy, you know.
No.
So for me to just listen to jolly good music all the time, it would feel weird. So you connect with your feelings.
Yeah.
And you write the music that is connected with your feelings, basically. So I guess that's why, right?
Yeah,
and that feeds your ego, and that feeds your energy, and makes you feel better, even if it's tear-dropping or heartbreaking or whatever it might be.
Yeah, weird enough, but absolutely. I mean, the emotion between, have feelings and music, it's so strong that imagine watching a movie without music. You wouldn't feel fear or the happy moments, or
exactly.
Well, it just enlarges emotions there too, and it's an interesting angle to think that the psychological health, even for musicians that write dark music, maybe with even a more depressive depressive, no, that's the wrong word, a darker input in the music, even in the lyrics, need the energy still to write it, and I recognize that.
And I think it's also written from a point where, I mean, I cannot speak for everyone, but at least from my point of view, I write for myself lyrically. I write only for myself. Then I'm just blessed to have people that likes the music, but
Yeah.
I have to start from within, basically.
Yeah.
And when I do that, that becomes therapeutic for me, you know? And it sounds like a cliche, but it's actually like a scientific method of that you write to yourself. So when you see what you have written in words, it's you telling yourself that this is how I feel. So for the first 4 or 5 albums, I wrote a lot of stuff and never really understood why I wrote it.
Yeah.
And now when I'm older and fat, no, I'm kidding. When I'm older,
Slightly older.
slightly older, yeah, tiny bit older. I can read
Wiser.
much wiser, which leads me to that I can read the lyrics now, and I understand that I at the time was speaking about how I felt on the inside and what I had been through or whatnot, you know. So it was that in itself was therapeutic for me to see, okay, I've been through this. And I actually told myself, hey dude, you have to slow down, or you have to listen, or whatever it might have been, you know. And I didn't realize it at the time.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
very
I mean, a
powerful.
really mind-boggling experience. So it's a stop.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen anymore.
No, I can imagine that it works like that. It's such a... I recognize the writing to yourself part, or maybe not that much as in writing to yourself, but more that I wanted to get things out, and they become more real and more recognizable when I write them down. And that they become... as if they are more there, more present there than only here or here.
And that's exactly how it works when I was working at a hospital with cancer patients. That's one of the methods, is to talk about the same thing over and over and over again, because you put different words to the same feelings over and over again. And that's exactly what you do when you write lyrics.
Yeah.
No, that didn't fit. No, that's not describing what I'm thinking. No, I don't feel like that. It's not the right color. It's not the right word or the phrasing.
No.
So that's what you do together with a patient as well.
Yeah.
And when the patient has talked about it in so many ways that the words are, you know, you're out of words, you have reached a point where you at least have a perception of where you are and how you feel.
That is important.
And that is important.
Because
however you feel after that. But it's important to know where you are at.
But why is that?
Because that leads you to the next point. How shall I tackle the real problem?
Okay.
I don't know what the problem is, then I can't tackle it. But if I know this is exactly what I'm feeling, this is the essence of my sorrow or my fear of death or whatever it might be. Now it becomes very dark, but yeah. So when you know what you're talking about, then you can at least attack, if that's what you want, you can at least attack that or treat it in the right way.
Would you say that even listening to a song could work like that? If that's
Sure.
If a specific song seems to have found the words, even if they weren't written for you personally, you can identify so strongly that it feels as therapeutical, as if somebody would really understand you, and every time you listen to the song or you hear those words, it feels like it's okay. Yeah, you repeat a certain feeling in order to understand it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean, identifying with music, that's what all of we do as music fans. We're identifying with, if you wrote a song and I've been there, I feel exactly that. That's what all of our fans and what we are doing towards the music that we love. Yeah. That's exactly it. You know, you identify and you feel, okay, I'm not alone, basically.
No, it's such a magical, powerful thing. But it's interesting to talk about it, put actual words to the feelings or to that sometimes undescribable strong connection you can have. Without taking the magic away, I hope, but I think it's important sometimes to understand things and to see the beauty of it even more. I mean, you see it when people gather, and hopefully we soon can again when we battled that COVID-19.
Yes.
Where we all come together and listen to the same notes and the same words but go in different emotions or with different backgrounds into the same emotion. That's power.
That's power. Yeah, I guess that's what religion is to many people. Even though I'm not religious myself, I understand that if you have a common view of something and identify with something together with many other people, I understand the psychological part behind that.
Yeah.
Because music is exactly the same. When you go to a concert with 500 or 10,000 people and we all are standing there in the same t-shirts and watching a band that we all love.
Yeah.
What's bigger than that? It's
absolutely. Nobody ever put a bomb fest on in the name of music. That's the one good
that's
thing where
that's the
music
difference.
wins.
Music, religion, 1-0.
Yeah, no crusades in the name of a good song. No.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Tom, for this talk. If there's anything more you would like to share with me or with everybody else.
No, just check out the music we have done together, if you haven't. And
and your new Silent Skies.
New Silent Skies, new Evergrey too.
When is that coming?
Silent Skies came December 11th, so it's out. And new Evergrey is coming February 26th.
Hey, good stuff. Thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you.